Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Paper Daisy Crafting, and thank you for watching me today and pressing play on the video. Today our project is this little wedding card here. I made this about a week and a half ago, or I posted it about a week and a half ago on my blog, and it was for a blog hop where the theme was any sort of card for any sort of celebration apart from birthday. So I thought I'd take the chance to make a wedding card. I try and keep a few cards for each occasion in my stash so that when I need one, I've got one. I haven't got to make one in a hurry. And I'd run out of wedding cards, so I thought it might be a good chance to make a wedding card. And I made this one, and I used grey granite and petal pink. Petal pink to make this one, and whisper white, of course. Did a little bit of put a little bit of texture on there with an embossing folder, and I'm going to show you today how to make it, and I'm going to change the colours up as I usually do. So my base today is going to be Purple Posy. I love this colour. This is one of my favourite ever Stampin' Up colours, Purple Posy. I've bought 2 packs already so that when it retires, I've still got a whole load to use up. I'm looking for my trimmer here, if you can feel my voice going in and out. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a card that's this way. So what I've done is I've taken a sheet of A4 and I've cut it right down the middle, and then I'm going to score it at 14.5, which won't be quite the centre, but it does mean when you're measuring panels it makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to fold that over, and you can see that I've got an edge there. Actually, I think my cardstock has caught the light a little bit. It's not really directly in the light, but you can see that that end is slightly lighter than the rest of the card. So you can see there's a little line there. So I'm going to have to watch that because I don't want my cardstock all fading and not being any use. But as it happens, I'm going to cut that off anyway. So I'm going to cut that little bit off. So it's an A4 sheet, but the measurements going that way are a little bit strange. So I tend to cut it down to 14.5, which makes it much easier for me cutting panels and things. So there's my panel. Just going to use a little burnishing. And I sometimes burnish the edges as well, just because they get a little bit of a lip on them from the trimmer. So if you just burnish them, that gives you a nice smooth edge with that kind of little lip that you get. There we go. That's going to be my blank. And I then need, on this card, I used our 6x6 family packs of DSP, and I used grey granite with the writing on. Actually, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to use silver, but what I have done with my silver today, can you see that shining? I've actually embossed it with our Subtles 3D embossing folder, which is this one, which gives it a very, and I was really surprised at how that turned up. It makes the silver look a lot shinier than it is when it's not embossed, actually, but really nice. Now sometimes what I do when I'm using silver, because it's not cheap, I gut it. So I would cut around there, cut that bit out, but sometimes I think you can slightly see through. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm actually going to be really, really extravagant and use the whole sheet. So that is going to go on there, but not until I put a layer of Whisper White on. So you can see, if I leave my sample there, got a layer of Whisper White. So this panel measured, so this, my card blank is 10.5 by 14.5 centimetres. My panel is 9.5 by 13.5, so it's a whole centimetre on each side smaller. So I've got a 0.5 centimetre border, but then I want the white panel to be slightly less than this border, so I'm going to do it 0.5 centimetre smaller. So I'm going to do this panel 9 by 13. So I've got a piece of scrap card here that I can just cut down to 13 going this way. Get my scoring blade out of the way. So that goes by 13, and then this way it's going to be 9. Yeah, that looks about right. There you go. You've got measurements down here as well as up here, which are really helpful to make sure you've got it in straight. Right, okay, so that's all the bases for my card. So I've got that layer, so that's going to layer on there. And there's not going to be too much of the silver showing through because it's a bit blingy if you have too much. And then that's going to layer on there. That's quite a pretty combination though, don't you think? That's just that little glint of silver with the purple. I think that's quite nice, really weddingy. I think that's quite nice. But before I glue it all down, I'm going to glue another embossed strip of silver across the centre here and then trim it off so that we won't be overhanging. And I'm just going to measure how far down I've stuck it. 3.5 centimetres down. So I'm going to measure 3.5. Oh, pencil's not out. There we go. Just so I've got a rough idea of where to glue that. So it's going to go here. So I don't need all of that, so I'm going to trim it off quite close. I don't know what I'll use that for, but I will find a use for it at some stage. Can't bear to waste any of our silver card. It's not the cheapest, it is lovely. It's the nicest silver card I've ever worked with, but it's on the pricey side, I think. I don't usually use a huge piece of it like this because I'm so mean with it. And that's going to glue across there. And this measures 9 across and 2 down. So it was 2 centimetres wide, and that glues on there. I'm going to make sure it's straight, and of course the liquid glue will give you a little bit of wiggle room to get that absolutely straight. Put it on there. Is that straight? Yeah, I think so. I'm becoming less able to judge in my old age, I think. I used to be able to do things by eye an awful lot. As I get older, I start questioning whether I've got things straight or not. Right, I am just going to burnish those edges of this card. I'm not going to press too hard where the silver is because I don't want to take the embossing off. I just want to get rid of that kind of lip that you get from the trimmer. Right, okay, so that is now going to layer onto there. Now, because this is silver card, it's not terribly porous, so I'm afraid that our liquid glue might not hold it for very long. So I'm actually going to use our tear and tape to adhere that. Could use one of our tape runners. If you watched my escapades the other day, you will have seen me making a complete mess with our new seal. I'm not really a tape runnery type of girl, but I will have to start making myself use it. I bought it, so I'm not going to waste it, so I will use it, but I'm much happy with a bit of tear and tape or a bit of liquid glue. You can see the state of my fingernails. They're not dirty. I have scrubbed them, but we went blackberry picking yesterday, and it's not a good idea to pick blackberries without any gloves on. As I found out, I have scrubbed and scrubbed, and they are still stained with blackberry juice. So hey ho, I'm sorry if they look like they're. I know they never look as manicured as some of the crafters you watch. I know a lot of the crafters. I can't do anything with nails like that. I find it really difficult to have long false nails on and do any crafting. So I just have my natural nails. Occasionally I might just paint them if it's a special occasion, but I don't have those acrylic or shellac nails put on. I love them. I love the look of them. I think people look great in them, but I just can't cope with them myself. I found out over lockdown, actually, that I'm very low maintenance. So loads of people were moaning about not being able to have facials or massages or pedicures or manicures or have their eyebrows tinted or threaded. Or actually, I didn't need any of it. I was fine. So I'm quite a low maintenance kind of gal, I think. Right, there we go. So what I did was I put tear and tape all the way around there. I've trimmed off the edges of the silver, and I'm now going to carefully mount this because, of course, it's not liquid glue, so I won't get a second chance. So if I don't get this on here, and I'm sorry if my head's in front of the video, but to do that I need to get right in front of it. There we go. Right, and that's just enough bling on there, I think. Wouldn't have wanted any more. So that's going to go there. And I'm now going to come back with my liquid glue and can use my liquid glue to glue that down. And mostly the set that we're using on here is called Meant to Be, and the dies that I've used are called Stitched Be Mine. So I've used 2 of the little stamps from it, and a couple of the dies from it. It's a lovely set. I'll show it to you in a sec. It's got lots of lovely heart images, so it'd be great for Valentine's Day, but it is a great one to have in your stash if you need to do wedding cards and things. It's got loads of different size hearts and things. There we go, that's lovely there. Right, let me show you this stamp set. And so this is the stamp set. So some lovely heart images, little tiny heart there that we're going to use in a minute. And this stripy one is that stripy one there, which fits in that die cut beautifully, makes it look really nicely. And I like these messages. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm always needing a nice happy Valentine's Day. Just for you, I love. I've used that a lot. You make me happy. The best friend a girl could ever ask for. Meant to be. I love our life together. You make me happy. Really nice. But then the dies, which I think is my favourite bit, I just put this one. So this is the one that we've used today for this. And this is really clever because it's got a cutting edge right at the edge here. So it actually cuts out the border, but then you end up with the middle section as well. So you get a heart, but you also get a scalloped border. And that's really clever. That's really nice. They don't all do that. That one does. You can get a bigger version of it. That one's got a cutting edge inside as well. The others are just either stitched. Yeah, I think they're just stitched edges on those ones. Actually, I don't know that they... Let me have a look. I think these are just stitched, actually. I haven't used these before. I think they're just stitched, so you can put it inside there and it will just put a stitching. It won't actually cut. Oh, I've not noticed that before. Hey ho, you do live and learn. I've had this set a long time as well. This one has got a cutting edge and then a stitched edge inside, and then all of these nest there. And then you get all these other little intricacies as well. This little rose cluster, this very intricate heart, these which are almost like paw prints, I think. This is quite a nice little embellishment, and this little border. And this one I've used a load. You've seen lots of cards that I've made with this scalloped stitched border. So it's a really great set to have in your stash if you're looking for something that's a bit romantic and wedding-y, and engagements, weddings, anniversaries, those sorts of occasions. Let's pop that away for now. So the next thing we're going to do is going to stick on our big heart and the scallop. So as you can see, I've already die cut it with that die that I just showed you, and I've run the heart through our Tasteful Textures. This is a new embossing folder that was in the that's in the new annual catalogue. Lovely, and I'd really like that texture, so I thought I'd pop that on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this one down first, just slightly to the left and slightly going off a little bit, not straight on. So a little bit of Tombow. And again, it won't stick to the silver, but that doesn't matter because it's got enough to anchor it on the bits that aren't silver as well, so I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to pop that there, and then I'm going to pop this frame around it. Loving, loving, loving the purple posy. I'm going to have to make a lot more cards. I've got so much of this cardstock because I love it. And there are other colours that Stampin' Up have had in the past that I've loved and then have retired, and I'm so sad that I can't get them anymore. So I decided that wasn't going to happen with this one. So sad that we can't get the ink, but I have got a little workaround for that I'm going to show you in a sec. In fact, I'm going to show you right now. Isn't that lovely? I'm loving those colours. Okay, so I have got that stripy stamp inked up here. I'm mounted up here, and I've got a scrap of Whisper White cardstock. Now, because I wanted purple posy, I'm actually going to use Highland Heather, and then I'm going to find a piece of paper, excuse me while I disappear for a bit. Just use a scrap piece of paper, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up with Highland Heather, and then I'm going to stamp off and then stamp, and you get the same effect. Can you see? That's a very close match for purple posy, so that's really great. So what I've done is I've already die cut. So that was the stamp, and then I then die cut it with that little heart that I just showed you. Let's just find it. So just place that over the heart like so, and die cut it, and this is what you get, a little scalloped stitched heart, which is lovely. and I've used these on a lot of other wedding cards. I did a series of silver and gold wedding cards a while back. If you go back, look at all my videos, you'll see them. Really nice. If you don't like this wedding card, you might find one there that you like. Right, that's going to go like that. I'm going to find some dimensionals for that though. What should we use? We use minis? Yes, let's use minis. Bring in my good old tweezers, and I'm just going to put 3 on here. Like so. And we're nearly there. There we go. So that's going to go there like that. Lovely. Right, okay. We then need to add these 3 little flowers, and the 3 little flowers are from another set that is new in the annual catalogue, which is this one, Arrange a Wreath. I've used so many different elements of this. I haven't actually used the wreaths yet, so I'm desperate to start doing that. But what I've used is from the dies, these 3 little flowers, to put those little 3 flowers, and I've die cut them already out of Purple Posy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue 2 down and then one on a dimensional. So I'm going to glue 2. So 1 there. Bring this in a bit closer. So you can see I've got my little stash of cocktail sticks in there that I use to smooth glue out when I need them. Need 2. 1 there. And then this one I'm going to pop on a dimensional, and you won't see the dimensional through there. These pop out little holes, so you could save the cardstock hole and do that, but I think it looks quite nice. And the last one I used pearls, but actually because of the silver in here, I'm going to use, I think, rhinestones. If I can find them. There they are. I'm going to use little rhinestones in here. So I'm just going to take one, pop that in there, and I think they tie in quite nicely with the silver foil that I've used, rather than going with the pearls on this one. Just a bit more bling as well. There we go. Right, and then all we've got left to do is the bottom piece of stamping, at least on the front here. So what I'm using is a stamp that says, wishing you lots of love, joy and happiness. Now it actually comes from a set that's going to be in the new catalogue, which was out yesterday when this is published. Yes, it was out yesterday. Sorry, I'm recording this on Monday. The new catalogue comes out on Tuesday, and this is going to be published on Wednesday. So it's this stamp here. May the good times of today become the cherished memories of tomorrow. Wishing you lots of love, joy and happiness. So that could be a greeting for a wedding. I think it's intended for Christmas, but it could be for a wedding. May the good times of today become the cherished memories of tomorrow. But I just love the wishing you lots of love. So what I've actually done, hold your heads in horror. I've actually cut it in half, so you can see there's the remainder of the stamp, and I've just got half of it here. Sorry to all you that are offended by that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp in our Purple Posy again. So I'm going to stamp off. So I'll bring my sheet in, bring in my Highland Heather. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to get this straight on here, I hope. Again, sorry if my head's in the way. I do need to be over top of things to stamp. Oh, there we go. Lovely. And then I'm just going to, we'll leave that, just going to come in with the little tiny heart, stamp off and stamp. So a little tiny heart there as well. And that's the front of the card finished. But I did decide before I came on that I was going to do a panel inside. With this, I've just stamped that heart and a few other little hearts. I don't know what I'm going to do inside this one, but I am going to put a panel. So I've got another piece of scrap card. My panel needs to be 9.5 by 13.5. So I'm going to come in with my paper trimmer again. Let's just check that this will be deep enough. Yeah. So 9.5. Check which blade you're using. 9.5 by 13.5. There we go. And then that's going to glue inside our card, which I don't know what I've done with it. Where have I put it? Oh, there it is, over the other side. So that's going to glue inside our card like this. I am just going to burnish those edges again. That's it. Oh, that's much nicer. Don't like that little lip that is left on after using our trimmer, but it is quite easy to burnish off. There we go. There we go. That's going to go inside. And then what should I do for stamping? I might do what I did in there, but I might not do as many hearts. So I'm going to bring in my scrap piece again. Do a big heart. Might do it in this corner this time. And then just a couple. Where should I do them? Maybe 3. There we go. That's all I'm going to do. And you can see I've just caught my finger in there and got a splodge on there. So I might have to do a bit of covering up on there as well. But I'll do that off camera. I'll think of something to cover that up with. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my card today. There's the petal pink one, there's the purple posy. Wonder if you have a favourite. This might be a bit too blingy for some people. I think it is quite blingy, but I quite like it. I'm amazed at how shiny it makes that silver look. It's not quite as shiny as that when you don't emboss it. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the card. If you'd like to buy any of the products I've used, they're available from my shop. So just go down and there's a link. If you'd like to read more about the card, it's on my blog and the link will be below as well. But apart from that, have a great time. If you wanted to buy new products from the Christmas catalogue, just let me know and I can pop a Christmas catalogue in the post to you. Apart from that, hope you have a lovely day and I will see you soon. Bye bye.